It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing the Maine Maritime Academy's assistant women's basketball coach, Coach Megan McLean. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college women's basketball?
So I guess I've always really just loved sports. Even when I was younger, I was a gym rat. I was always in there, watching the older kids and, playing. So I think I knew I always wanted to do something within athletics, and basketball was definitely my favorite sport for sure. So, my senior year of college at Maine Maritime, our season had just ended. I didn't really know what I was going to do next. And our head coach was like, well, why don't you come be my assistant and you can figure it out from there. And so I enrolled in an online master's program and decided to coach, and I've loved it ever since. So it's definitely been a good decision.
Player, what was your experience going to Maine Maritime Academy and playing?
It was a great experience for sure. I really enjoyed my time here. I met a lot of great people. I'm still really close with my three teammates that were in my class for basketball, and we did a lot of great things here, and I'm super proud of what we accomplished. But I think it was just a great experience. I loved the competition and how much I learned as a player and as myself as a person too. So it was awesome for sure.
Of course, as a player, what was it like getting to represent them and putting on that uniform for them?
So that's an interesting question. So I think at the beginning, I didn't my freshman, sophomore year, I didn't really understand what it meant to kind of put on that jersey and how fortunate and lucky I was for sure. So as I got older and just learning that not a ton of people, go on to play college athletics, and then, what it means to represent Maine Maritime in this program, I guess I didn't really learn till junior, senior year, and just the great alumni that have come before me, and, what it really means to be a family in this program. And it's definitely a privilege, and I learned that along the way. And I would say it's a really special honor to wear a Maine Maritime women's basketball jersey, and it comes with a lot of responsibility, but it was something that I truly, truly felt honored to do.
As a player, what were some of your biggest accomplishments on the court?
Um, so to be honest, I don't know if my biggest accomplishment as a player was on the court. I feel like my legacy and my biggest accomplishment here at Maine Maritime as a player was off the court and my leadership. And um, when my sophomore year ended, there was no juniors ahead of us, so it was me and my three friends. We were the rising juniors, and we were the oldest on the team, and we wanted to leave a legacy, and we had talked about doing that since freshman year. And I think we kind of changed a little bit of the culture of how this program is. And um, I think that is more of what I'm proud of and the biggest thing that I accomplished. It definitely lasts longer than what happened on the court for sure.
For you, what was that transition like going from being a player to coaching at your alma mater of Maine Maritime?
Oh, so that was interesting. So I go from, playing with all of my teammates, and then, a couple months later, I'm on the other side of things coaching them. And I think it took a little bit of a transition for sure. That first game when everyone's putting on their uniform and warm-ups and getting ready to play, and I'm in dress clothes, it was definitely a little bit different for sure. But I would have to give a shout out to all of my teammates that were still playing on that team. They they really allowed me to help them and coach them. And one of the biggest compliments I got. We were sitting in a circle saying what we were thankful for that day, and I told every one of the, players on the team, I was like, I'm thankful that you guys accepted me as a coach and, took my advice and whatnot. And one of the players was like, you've been doing that since like your junior year of college, so it wasn't much different, but I think it was a good transition. It took me a little bit of time to find my own and, get into my like coaching voice. And I think I've definitely developed that now and have been more of a contributor on the coaching staff than I was my first couple years. But the transition was great. My head coach did a good job of managing everything. So I was very thankful for it.
Of course, in your first couple years coming to Maine Maritime as a coach, what was that transition like going from being a player and playing with those teammates to now coaching those teammates that you played with?
Yeah, I guess I was definitely more of a one-on-one coach, I would say, instead of, being in front of the entire group. So it was more of just giving people suggestions, and our head coach was like, you'll never have to be in, a disciplinarian, situation or anything like that. Like he definitely put me in situations to succeed. And like I said, my teammates were great. They took my advice and let me help them, which was really cool. And I think, that's just the culture of our program is, people are trying to help and you take all this advice and you go out there and, try to do it on the court.
For you now as a coach, what is that feeling like stepping onto that court?
It's uh it's really cool. It's super fun. It's definitely a different feeling. Being a player, that competitive nature, you just want to go out and, try to do the best you can and, execute the game plan. But I think my competitive nature is now changed from the physical side of things to now like, all right, what are the X's and O's? How can we take advantage of mismatches? And, I've kind of changed that competitive mindset from the physical side of things to the mental side of things. And I think once I did that, the coaching aspect definitely became a lot more fun and a lot more interesting. So I love the prep that comes for game day, like watching film and just figuring out, who we're gonna play, what mismatches we're gonna take advantage of, and then stepping on the court is when you gotta kind of give the reins over to the players, and that's where you see if your preparation worked. And I love it. It's great to go to battle with these players and coaches on my team.
What does a typical game day look like for you as a coach versus when you were a player?
Yeah, so for a coach now, like obviously a lot of our prep happens earlier in the week, so the scout's already done. We've already watched all of our film. We've got a game plan going. So, game day is actually kind of like the calm before the storm sort of deal. And I'm really just I come in the office early and I'm around for the players if they want to come shoot and get shots up, ask some last minute questions. But it's really more of a chill day, I would say, on the coaching side until the game actually starts. And as a player, I think I just tried to stay in a routine as much as possible. Like if I had class that day, I'd go to class, make sure I have my playlist ready, for warm-ups. And um, yeah, I think having a routine as a player was super important. And now as a coach, I'm at the mercy of all the players and when they come in and when they want to shoot, but I'm definitely around just to support them.
Of course, what does that culture look like for you as a coach, and how have you been able to help build that culture from when you were a player?
Yeah, so I guess I kind of talked about it with what I was most excited or what I accomplished as a player. And the end of my sophomore year into junior year, me and my three teammates created a mission statement for this program actually, which was really cool. And I guess I didn't know how important it would be, but that mission statement's still hanging up on the locker room. And every year at the beginning of the season, all of the players and coaches sign that mission statement kind of as a contract, I would say, of like what we're trying to accomplish and how we're gonna carry ourselves. And I guess culture is super big in this program. We talk about it all the time, and it's something that, we really stress. And it's more, I think it's probably just as important as the X's and O's on the court for sure. And like we want to be great in the classroom. We want to be great, on this campus. We want to be great on the basketball court as well. And, that culture comes in a lot of different ways, whether it's just how you're acting, in public, to we now have a culture of, like lifting, playing pickup, and doing all the little things off the court and making sure we're taking off season seriously and stuff like that. So I feel like I have had a big impact on, both the player side and the coaching side. And um, it's a work in progress. Every year there's, different challenges, and but I think we have like really good guiding principles here at Maine Maritime, and basically it's just do the right thing. And if you have to question if it's the right thing, it's probably not the right thing. So I think if we, we kind of we tell our players that, and we try to live that way as coaches as well. And I think that culture's been very successful here for sure.
Who are some of the teams in your conference that you compete against each week?
Yeah, so we compete in the North Atlantic Conference. We are always competing with Husson University, so they're our rivals. They're about an hour down the road, and we always have great matches in every sport there. But we also have like UMaine Farmington, Thomas is in our conference, UMaine Presque Isle, and then that's pretty much the East. And then we have the West side of our conference, which is a lot of the SUNY schools. So like SUNY Cobleskill, SUNY Canton, SUNY Morrisville, like schools like that. So we have a pretty very big footprint for a Division III conference, but it's cool to travel to these different places and get the players off campus. And it's definitely team bonding, being in the hotel room and eating good food and going out to restaurants and stuff like that. So
Of course, what is that game day atmosphere like playing teams home in your home rink, your home area?
yeah, so our gym is not super big. It's pretty compact, and our gym was actually just redone. We got a new floor, we just got new backboards up and new bleachers. So it's definitely had a facelift since I've played there, but it's definitely small and intimate area, and I think that definitely bodes well for us. The culture at Maine Maritime, it's a smaller institution, so a lot of the kids actually are on like other athletic teams as well. So kind of the culture here is you go support your classmates, and that gym is, when it's packed, it's so fun to play in. Like the fans are right on top of you. It's hot, it's loud, and it's definitely a great atmosphere to play in. It was actually pretty cool. So the gym floor just got put in recently. Like it was last summer that they put the gym in. So we ended the old gym floor and we won a championship, and then we started off the new gym floor with a championship at home. So it was definitely exciting, and that home court advantage, so to say, was definitely on our side, and the gym was packed and it was super fun.
Of course, what is that away atmosphere like when playing teams in the Sony conferences?
Yeah, so it's definitely a little bit different. Obviously we're traveling like 10 hours on a bus to get to those games. And we've actually, our roster, we have kids from all over the country. So usually we don't have a ton of like parents there. They're usually watching on the web stream, but it's definitely a different culture, and or I guess a different atmosphere, I should say. But our kids definitely bring their own energy and bring their own hype to the game. Like our bench is, I would say, one of the best benches in the country. Like they're always cheering and clapping and loud and hyping each other up. And yeah, so when we don't have like that home crowd where there's a ton of people right on top of you, like they do a great job they do a great job every game, but they do a great job of picking up that energy and making sure that the 5 people on the court feel that they have people supporting them, and that's definitely a part of our culture as well. And 1 through 15, we appreciate all that our players do for sure.
Of course, for you as a coach, what was that feeling like getting to coach in the 2 championship games and bringing home a championship?
It was it was surreal. Like it was the first championship was really crazy. Like I don't know, I can't really describe that feeling to you. Like it was just like almost like a wow, we did it. Like all that hard work, all the late nights, watching film, working out with players, like doing all that stuff, it was all worth it. And it was great to see the look on, our players' faces. Like they worked so hard and um, they definitely deserved it. So that was really cool. And I think for me, it was just like, our game plan worked. We did what we had to do. Like that was awesome. And so, it was a really great feeling. It had I played for 4 years and then it was like 3 years of coaching and that was the first championship I'd ever won. So it was definitely special and something that I'll remember. And it was great to do it with, the coaching staff that we had. Like, they're family to me and so are the players. So it was really awesome.
Of course, what does that recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes? And as a coach, what do you look at in those prospective student athletes?
Yeah, so our recruiting has kind of changed a little bit since I've started working here. So, we were pretty Maine centric for a while and, going to tournaments in, Portland, Maine. We go to like Massachusetts and sometimes Pennsylvania and get those local kids to come here. And once the pandemic happened, obviously that was all kind of shut down for a little bit. So we kind of took to different recruiting websites and we were finding kids from all over the country. And so we'd watch film, we'd see if they have a major that, fits well with Maine Maritime and what we have. And we'd kind of just start that relationship and wherever the recruits take us we go, you know what I mean. And so we started going to a lot of the bigger tournaments, once things started opened up in Louisville, Kentucky. Like we'd be in Florida, Texas, and um yeah, we'd go all over. But I think the one thing that we look for in a prospective student athlete is definitely their reactions with teammates and coaches. Culture, like I said, is super important to us. And, we really want a kid that's going to be a great teammate. And when their coach talks to them, they're engaged and, saying yes and like, being respectable to, the refs as well. So I think that's super important. And obviously the basketball side of things, like our head coach has been coaching for 30 years, so he can look at a kid and know if they'll succeed in our program or not. So he's really good at evaluating kids that way. And, we want a kid that has potential and, works super hard. So, but those relationships that we see during game day is definitely super important.
As a coach and alma mater, what is it like seeing those freshmen put on that uniform for the first time representing Maine Maritime?
Oh, I think like, wow, you guys are so lucky and you don't even know it. Yeah, like I'm so happy for them that they found, like I found my dream school and I found a program that I loved. I found a place that I love with people that I love. And when I see the freshmen put on that uniform and get to do the same thing as me, I'm like, wow, they are definitely very lucky that they found something and a program that they truly enjoy. And I just hope that they someday realize how lucky they are to be playing college basketball and to be a part of this program. And I do my best to make this experience as best as possible for them because I know how it feels to be in their shoes as a freshman. It's a little nerve-wracking. It's all those things. And yeah, I just think it makes me happy knowing that they get to put on that uniform and soon they'll be an alum like me and they're in a different group of people, which is cool.
What is it like getting to see them put on that uniform for the last time and make these big accomplishments?
So it's definitely sad. Senior day is it's sad for us because, you spend 4+ years starting in the recruiting process, getting to know a kid, getting to know their family, and then, they come here, a lot of them from super far away, and you're kind of their family here. And when their family is, say in Florida, and you get super close with those kids, and there's obviously ups and downs throughout the 4 years and the seasons, and um, it's sad that it's the last year you get to spend with them here, but you're also like, for me, I'm super happy that they they've gone through this program and they've graduated from Maine Maritime, and Maine Maritime changes kids' lives. Like our institution does a really great job of setting people up for success after graduation. And for a lot of the kids that we recruit, like it's life changing for them and their families when, they already have a job by December of their senior year, and, they just get to play basketball, and then they graduate and they go make a ton of money. And I feel like at that point, I'm satisfied that my job is done. I got a kid to come here, be successful, play basketball, do great things, and now they're gonna go do great things as a professional as well. And so, it's definitely a lot of mixed emotions. You want to keep them here forever, but you also gotta, let them do their thing and be great out in the professional world as well. So, yeah, it's satisfying for sure.
Of course, as a coach, what is it like seeing them achieve those big milestones in their career, whether it's the 1,000 career points, whether it's their first career points, or their first assist?
Yeah, I feel like that's also super satisfying as well. Like these kids, like a lot of the, fans and parents, like they just see them on game day, but we get to see them every day, at practice and individual workouts when they're lifting, and, just seeing all their hard work be recognized by everyone else is definitely really great to see for sure. And I think our kids do a really good job of celebrating each other, and making sure that that person feels special for their accomplishment. But, we also say just still be humble. Like you don't get here without, your teammates, your coaches, your family, all of that stuff. So just trying to keep them into perspective. But I think it's really cool to see them accomplish those milestones.
Of course, as a coach, what is it like getting to see those players go on and play professional basketball, whether it's overseas or in the WNBA?
Yeah, so obviously us being a Division 3 school, not our well, our kids usually just get jobs after graduation, but I think for, I watch a lot of college basketball, and I think it's really cool to see people take the next step and, experience a different kind of basketball, get to a different team. I think that's definitely really cool to see how people grow and what different experiences they have.
What have what are some of your future plans in your coaching career moving forward and for Maine Maritime?
Yeah, so I think the big plan right now for us is we want to win an NCAA tournament game. We've been knocking on the door for a couple years. We've been in the NCAA tournament for 2 years in a row now, and I think we're really just ready to take that next step in winning a game and becoming the first team at Maine Maritime to do so. And our kids are super hungry. They're ready to keep working. We have a good senior class that's rising, and they've kind of elevated this program to the next level. So I don't think they're gonna just stop their senior year. They're still hungry. They're ready to go. So um, for us, I think that's the next step, and we're just trying to recruit kids that can come in and assist in doing that. So,
What advice would you give those incoming freshmen entering their first year of college women's basketball?
um, I would say just be open. Like, you're gonna learn a new system, and there's gonna be things that are different from what your high school and AU coaches have taught you, but just be open to the process. And I feel like don't have expectations that are unreasonable. Like everyone learns at their own pace, and it may take you a couple months longer to get a concept than it does a freshman next to you, but that doesn't mean you're worse off or they're any better. You know what I mean? And um, I feel like just try to learn as much as you can and take help from, the coaches and the upperclassmen and ask questions and, really be present in everything that you're doing. That definitely helped me in finding an upperclassman that kind of taught me the way. So I say that would definitely be my biggest advice.
What advice would you give those players looking to play professional women's basketball after college and go and play in the WNBA or overseas?
Yeah, I would say my advice for that is if you want it, go for it. Just keep working hard and if you don't try, you're never going to get there. So I would say try as hard as you can and keep working hard and good things will happen.
What advice would you give those players looking to get into coaching after their playing career?
I would say my advice for that is to I guess if it's something that you're interested in, I feel like from a relatively young age. And I would say again, just like a freshman and coming into college, you're at a brand new spot. And I would just try to say learn as much as possible. Be the first person in the office, be the last person to leave, and just make sure that you're giving it your all and putting a lot of effort into it. It's going to be a lot of work, and I feel like that doesn't change no matter how far you are into your coaching career, but just keep working hard and it's definitely your hard work will be rewarded, whether that's in championships, relationships with, your players and alumni, like, it's definitely a rewarding profession and so I would say just keep working hard at it.
What advice would you give those players and coaches like yourself that are alma maters looking to coach at their alma mater?
I would say you'd have to put in the work as a player to, really step into a coaching role like right after college. You know, I feel like if you're a leader on the court and if you're a leader in the locker room as a player, it's pretty easy to then transition into a coaching role. And I think it's definitely you learn a lot about the program that you had no clue about before, which is also pretty interesting. I'm like, wow, you guys spend this much time on the scout, and I read the scout for like a minute, and then we're good. Like, it's just, yeah. So I would just say, like, just keep working hard, do what your head coach asks, and try to be there to support them.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you on social media along with the team app?
Yeah, so our women's basketball account is at MMA_WBB. And I honestly don't really have a like personal coaching account to be honest. So yeah, I would definitely follow that one. I do all the graphics for that. So that's my pride and joy right there.
Thank you again, Coach Megan McLean, for your interview and best luck in your future at Maine Maritime as the assistant women's basketball coach.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Megan, for your interview and best luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.